You are now listening to Relationship Talk with Juanito.
Welcome back to Relationship Talk with Juanito. Today I'm back with Big G. Big G, say what's up to everybody.
What's happening, baby?
Hey, how you been, man?
Oh man, it's been a rough 5 days for your boy. I went to the gym on Friday trying to keep this sexy dad body going.
What is a sexy dad body?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, you sexy dad body, you see a little punch, but you also see some muscle definition.
Okay, I get it. I got a little bit of a sexy dad body myself in that case, but I'm trying to work off the pudge in the bottom part. But
I think I'm just gonna let it roll. Catch me on the beach in a couple of Speedos with a dad body.
Oh, listen, I'm about 175 right now, and at 5'3", that's a little linebacker.
Yeah, that is.
A little slow linebacker with some bad knees and some bad ankles. So I'm trying to get down to about 162, 163, something like that. If I can get down to 160, that would be perfect. But I don't want to lose too much muscle mass either.
Yeah, I ain't seen that since 1998.
You also 6'3", so I would hope not.
Hold on. Don't forget my 4 inches. I'm 6'7", baby.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm 6'7". Hey, but since the last time we physically seen each other, I lost a lot of weight though. I still keep the Big G moniker, but I'm not really Big G no more.
Okay. So what you at right now?
I'm at like 255. I got down to my lowest at 225. I got back down to 225. But I started to look like 50 Cent when he was in that movie. I started to look real sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seen your picture when I was at 225. I just looked real sick. My face was, it wasn't appealing.
I mean, at 6'7", I would imagine probably what, 245, 250 is probably a good solid weight.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to be. There, yeah, I got back to 255.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got a question to ask you. This popped up on my feed first thing in the morning. Maybe I need to stop checking my phone early in the morning. There's always some drama that I see on my phone. So, have you seen this video with Ayesha Curry?
I've seen all of Ayesha Curry's videos.
But have you seen the latest one with her being on Call Me Daddy podcast?
Yeah, I seen that one.
All right, so I got it pulled up, and I'm a play it, and I want to get your reaction on it, and then I'll also talk about my thoughts on it.
All right, it's coming up. Got it.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm not home, like, did you experience that?
I still experience that. I'm almost Like I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
All right. So what's your thoughts about that?
My thoughts about that, she's a typical woman. When I say that, a lot of women, they're not happy with where they are. Now, I understand you're not settling and not being a part of something that you supposed to, that you always wanted. But it seems to the fact that when it's dealing with men, we're supposed to adjust on the fly. Well, hey, well, this is not what you wanted, but this is where you're at. So you need to make, you know what I'm saying, make do with what you got. Sometimes that sometimes that don't apply to women. See, because she said the key word, how I feel. And with that, how I feel, that destroys a lot with a woman because a woman will break up a home where she's loved, she's taken care of, where she's prospering to everybody's eyes but her. She don't feel a certain way. So she will walk away based on feelings. Where us men, we may feel a certain way, but that inner being in us tells us, hey, we got to stick this out and I got a family, right. Even if we might have done wrong, we have the inner feeling that says, hey, I have to take care of this, so I have to continue to press forward. So I'm not surprised. Like I'm saying, I've watched a lot of her videos over the years, and she's speaking her feelings truth, which is her truth. That's how she truly feels. But it shows that you can be the best that you can be as an individual, talk about it as a man, and because she doesn't feel a certain way, it can call a little rift inside of your home, which I do believe it is. But I'm not going to say that because I said this last time we were talking. Us men, we have to just take it because at the end of the day, it's going to be our fault if this doesn't work.
So as I was watching it, and I watched it probably 3 times or so, she said in the beginning, I did not want to get married and I did not want to have kids. So the first question that I'm asking is, well, why did you get married and why did you decide to have kids if that's not what you wanted? Fast forward, here it is. It's, umpteen years later, you have 4 kids with a man who presumably has been a great husband, a great father. He takes care of you. He takes care of his family. There's no controversy surrounding him, in the league, him being what most would consider a high value man. Not to say that there is, but if there is some, we don't know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only know what you are putting out there, and everything that you're putting out there is all about how essentially what I'm getting from it is that marriage ruined your life. Being a
Yes.
mother ruined your life. And it's kind of sad because, it paints this picture that no matter what you do as a man, it's never going to be enough, right? And let's be honest, right? That's not applicable to all women. There are women who would love to be in her spot and would cherish the ground that he walks on, right? But let's be honest, right? There's also some women that, would use and abuse that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that, and you hit it on the head. The problem that I have with it is that you're so focused on what could have been, what would have been, and you don't even know in particular that your life would have turned out any better than what it is right now. Right? You're
Mm-hmm.
assuming and you're living in a past that no longer exists. And so where's the appreciation for where you are right now? Right? you
Yeah.
you have the opportunity. You're on these platforms. You had your cooking show. You had all of these things, but yet you're still searching for more. I mean, what more could you want?
I don't know. It was like a short or a reel a couple of years ago where a man was talking and this woman comes up and they were discussing about women and you know what I'm saying, and his use of the derogatory words towards women. And he made a statement. He said the good ones want to be associated and stand close to the hoes when you can't even tell not no more. And so I say that to say a few years ago, she said she wished she could have had her whole phase. Why would a mother, you know what I'm saying, of at that time, two beautiful kids, you know what I'm saying, who has a prestigious life, why would you even think about having a whole phase?
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I get it, right? Because I've had this conversation with my wife, right? There
Mhm.
are times where, you know, I'm a man, right? And there was once upon a time where I was out there in the streets chasing, right? Like a lion chasing down his prey. And there are times where you as a man, you kind of go through those phases where you miss it.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have those, it's okay to have that feeling, and it's okay to have those conversations with your significant other. But if you go out and you just continuously like putting down your marriage, putting down your kids, inadvertently putting down your husband, you know, it's almost like you're setting yourself up for divorce,
Yeah.
setting yourself up for, you know, this like this life that you think that you want. It kind of reminds me of what's her name? Tia Morrow from Tia and Tamara.
Yeah.
Um, divorced her husband, wanted to, you know, discover herself, quote unquote. And what she discovered is, you know, these streets is cold. And so she's on these different shows and these different platforms crying and talking about how she missed her family, the family that she destroyed.
But one, it is again, it's from this thing. It's the feeling. They for some reason they get the feeling that something is incomplete, even though you have reached the finish line. Because even if you go through these phases, at the end of that, you want what you have now. So you skipped all the bad and got straight to where you want, to the ending, to the finished goal. You had the cheat code, you had the cliff notes to the end, and you said you want to go back and try to reread and relive the middle. Well, if your end goal is to be this, a happily married woman with, you know what I'm saying, with the family. Well, she said she didn't want kids. So that's probably the issue. She probably wanted to be a real housewife or so and so with no kids so she can do the ratchet stuff. Because that's what I take from it. I think she's fighting herself because she wants to be that. She wants that kind of attention. And inversely, she's disrespecting her man. By doing this, she's bringing
Unnecessary attention.
unnecessary attention and grief and strict, because men, you know what I'm saying, even though that's our brother, we gonna rag on him. He's in the locker room. Damn, dog. Another week, another video of your girl talking about how she wants to blah, 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 blah. And that's I had a statement. Don't love me, respect me. Because with respect, there is love. You know what I'm saying? Don't love me, respect me, because I'm going to respect you.
Yeah,
And
love is a feeling. And just like feeling, it's fleeting. And
it's
so
free. It can come
there
and go.
yeah, so there's times where you're not gonna love your spouse, and there's times where you're not gonna like your spouse. You're right.
Yes.
But you have respect for the relationship and the things that you've built together. And so you're able to work through those things, right? But it's you're able to do that by focusing on the here and the now, right? Not so much focusing on the things that could have been, should have been, would have been, right? I use my wife as an example. My wife was a nurse in Belize when I met her. And, you know, her goals and dreams was to be a nurse. And so she got pregnant. We got married. She moved to the US, gave birth to my son. COVID happened. Her time elapsed so that her degree wasn't was no longer transferable over, and so she was going to have to go through the entire process over again. And then I got orders to Germany. Went to Germany, was there for 2 years, and I ended up retiring. And to this day, she's still not a nurse. However, she's working on her degree. She has a plan to get back into nursing, right? So
Mhm.
it's like the saying goes where it's like, you know, it's not delayed or it's not denied, it's only delayed, right? And
Right.
that's how it is sometimes, right? But if you chose to lose yourself to your marriage, right, and to being a motherhood, and that's the active choice that you made, then you have to live with those choices and choose to either go a different direction or get back on track. Whatever floats your boat, it doesn't really matter. That's up to you and your spouse and whatever you guys agree with. But don't go out there and embarrass your spouse because you feeling like you want to have a hot girl summer in your life and you've been married for 15 years, because you just might embarrass this dude enough to the point where he's like, you know what? If this is the life that you want, okay, cool. Go have it. And then you gonna figure out real fast and in a hurry that ain't nothing out here but a whole bunch of hot mess.
A whole bunch of vultures. But I believe that Steph probably just said something too, because you hear in the statement he says he tries to talk to her, but because he's not valid, he's not truly validating her feelings because he's trying to, as men, which we want to come to a conclusion. We want to come to, hey, what's going to fix this?
Yeah, the logical approach.
Well, he's not sitting in that pity zone, validating her feelings and stroking her pity and saying, oh yeah, you're right, your feelings is the only thing that matter. She's frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I do, not to say this, and nor do I want to say it, but I do believe in the coming years, just like most professional athletes, when Steph walks away and that limelight of her being in the limelight and she can't use it like she wants to use it, she's gonna walk away.
You know, it's funny that you say that because we were having we were actually talking about this at work today. Because apparently it was on somebody else's feed as well. And this dude that is a super basketball head who sits next to me, he was talking about the fact that, thinking back to when Curry came out of it was Davidson?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he came out of Davidson, he was not projected to be the superstar that he is now. And so they got married the year that he entered the league. And so his projection wasn't that he was going to be a superstar. He was just going to be more of a serviceable basketball player. And then obviously Steph grew to be the man that he is now, right? The guy who changed the league in a sense, made it more of a 3-point shooting league than a down low post up layup, dunk on somebody's head.
Yeah.
And that propelled him into a whole different stratosphere. And he, in his mind, he thought that she was okay with the life, thinking that he wasn't going to be like this overly hyped superstar, right? And then he took on, his NBA career took off, and he is the man that he is, bona fide Hall of Famer, changed the game, goes down as one of the greats. And so that in itself changed the projection of her life, right?
But hold the pen right there, Juan. I think about that. Why would she be mad that her man excelled and he became this uber superstar? Think about it. Why do you think that?
If I had to put my best guess on it, I would probably say because it led to him getting different levels of attention.
You're there, but it goes back to when we first started about the competitiveness. She was going to be okay because she felt if she go in her career, she was going to be better than him. She was going to be the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
And so now she's having to take a backseat, and because innately she wants that life. She wants that attention-filled life. So when she walks in the room, it's not, oh, Ayesha Curry, Steph's wife. It's, oh my God, that's Ayesha Curry. And he'll be saying, and that's Stephen Curry, the basketball player, but he's Ayesha Curry's husband.
Oh, so you think that she would like the roles reversed, where
Yes.
she's the one who gets all the attention and he's just kind of in the background.
Yes. And you can tell because why in a logical sense, why would you go on all these platforms knowing, and even in this here, all people kind of, well, you know how people's going to see it, but you keep doing it. Like the Will and Jada stuff. She just kept going out there and saying just saying these outlandish things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I used to this and I wanted this with this person. You married. You got somebody. Why would you do that?
I don't know. I'm blessed enough that I don't really tell my wife what to do or anything like that. I obviously have like my requirements or whatever, but she loves she loves being in the background. She loves being at home, spending time with the kids and you know we have those. She likes to work. Don't get me wrong. She loves to work. She wants to have her money coming in so that she could do whatever that she wants to do. But when she's not working, she wants to be at home with her family, with the my son, watching her shows or watching whatever it's on TV or scrolling through social media or whatever. And she's cool with that. But I will say this, we have conversations. We have good communication in regards to where we're at in these moments, right? Because we all go through ups and downs. I have had a lot of ups and downs, since I retired from the military, right? Because when I retired, there was a time where in between my official retirement date and the time I started working, I didn't have a job for like
Yeah.
4 months, and I was every day I was spending 8 to 10 hours, well, not 8 to 10 hours. Let me rephrase. I was spending about 6 hours a day filing applications and and doing job interviews, like, and while driving for Lyft 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a rough time for me. Then transitioning from being in an office every single day and then having to work remotely where I'm by myself all the time was a transition. So it's been a lot of, now I'm back in the office. So it's been a lot of ups and downs. And so we always good about communicating with where we're at. And so guess what? Sometimes my wife is like, you're being pessimistic and not optimistic, and she's like a super optimistic type of person, right? I tend to think that I'm more realistic, but in my realistic thinking, there's also pessimism weaved into that. And so my question would be, during these conversations where she's describing these things to Steph, is it that she's just completely caught up and lost in these things and she doesn't appreciate where she's at and what's right in front of her?
To me, feelings, when you allow feelings to dilute everything, you're not in reality world anymore, because when feelings are involved, all reality is pushed to the side. There's a utopia of emotions and thoughts that goes along with feelings that won't allow you to see reality. And that's just not in relationships, that's in everyday life with anything, even with our situation that we're in politically, the emotion has gotten people to not see reality, in which reality is more important than your feelings, because your feelings can't pay your mortgage, it can't put food on your table, it can't do a lot of stuff. But we get so caught up in our feelings because they know how to stroke the feelings. And so we say this is what is important, but then after everything turns around and now people are losing their job and losing everything, oh, I need you, and you're taking my, well, you got to realize that no person can represent our feelings, because I got different feelings, you got different feelings. But not to go on the political rant, because I talked about that on my Instagram this morning, a Wednesdayism. When you dealing with most women and their feelings, if you do not validate that feeling as being 100% true, the reality of things is not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So him trying to figure out and saying, okay, I'm living in reality, let's discuss it now. But she can only focus on, well, why are you not validating my feelings? Why are you not saying this here and saying that about my feelings? Well, I'm trying to see what we can do to get past this to make you feel comfortable. But what he's not understanding, what will make her feel comfortable, is used to say, yes, baby, your feelings is everything. You are right. Just keep stroking that feelings and everything will be okay.
Well, I think it's okay to validate somebody's feelings, right? Because they have a right to feel how they feel in those moments, right? But you can't live in those, you can't live by those feelings, and you can't live in those feelings, right? You have to come back to reality, right? Because guess what? There are times where I feel upset. There are times where I feel frustrated or I feel sad or whatever, but I can't choose to live in those moments, right? I have to come back to reality. I have to go back to the point of, okay, where am I really at, right? Look beyond the feelings. What do I have going on right now, right? Is my situation good or is it bad? Or, what can I do to fix it?
But but watching that video after we wrap up, just go and look into those comments. Just go and look into those comments. And
Listen, I looked into those comments and listen,
and the majority of those comments were women talking to the men. Y'all don't know what that man has done to her to make her feel like that.
that's all assumptions. That's
But that's what I'm saying. In those comments, when they're talking about feelings, these women, along with her, the first thing is to say is you don't know what that man has done to her. Again, no matter how it floats, we're going to be, as men, we're going to be the reason why stuff doesn't work out. And reason why we're going to be that, and reason, like I'm saying, reason why if it don't make it and she walks away, she's going to state that Steph didn't validate her feelings. And which I do believe he's validated her feelings by saying, yes, baby, I understand. But they don't want that but. They want, yes, baby, I understand. And we just capitulate to the feelings. But most men, we throw that butt out because we're trying to get past this because we don't want to come home to this every day. We don't want to come home to, oh, baby, I wish I could have did this. I wish I could have. Okay, baby, I get it. All right. Yes. Okay, but we're here now. What do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Do you want me to go out there and invest more money into your personal business where you could do this? What do you want me to do?
Well, I think that she's looking for certain levels of attention that she's looking for, and there's certain levels of validation that she's looking for that maybe Steph Curry can't give her. But she's got, and she's gonna have to deal with those things or risk losing it all. Or you made this comment earlier, and I'm interested to hear why you think this, but you said that you think that she's setting up for the divorce once he retires.
Yes.
Why
Yeah,
do you think
because
that? Because I heard the same thing at work today.
and the reason why I say that because all majority athletes, especially if they spent their whole career married, what happens is the spouses, the women get used to the man not being there. So they function a certain way. All right. So she knows right now their life is maybe 8 to 12 weeks out of the year that she has to be there with Steph, and they have to try to co-parent. They have to try to do everything together. They have to try to listen and talk. And because most of the time he's traveling, he comes in on a Thursday, he might sleep there, wake up, boom, he gone again. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he's gone. But after they retire, after the athletes retire, they end up being there, and that causes a rift. And with that rift is she's like, well, okay, well, you done been out doing everything that you wanted to do. Now it's my turn.
So you're saying so kind of like the empty nester effect.
Like the empty nest effect. Yes, when the kids
Okay,
leave.
so it's like, now I gotta be around you, and I don't necessarily know if I like you like that.
And this is her conversations, what she's talking about. All that's basically saying when she's saying I didn't really want, I don't know, I didn't really like him at first, and that's basically saying when you come home, I don't really know if I like you like that. Because she said if a woman tells you I didn't like you at first, you had to grow on me.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot she said that.
Yes.
Uh, that's a whole, yeah. That was one of the things that was a requirement for me to marry my wife was I had to figure out if she even liked me like that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I figured out that she did that I decided to marry her. Or
Yeah.
let me rephrase that, to date her. And then we eventually got married. But that was and I never told her that. I mean, I've told her since then, but during the dating phase and, our messing around phase, I never told her what my requirements were in order for me to date her seriously, because I didn't want her to put on a show.
Yeah.
And so this whole situation is kind of messed up, because it's kind of like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And it's like you can't win. But I know it's not, what's the word I'm trying to think of? That it's not the situation for everybody. It's not going to be the situation for everybody. But it's like you have these relationships that you kind of idolize, or you kind of look at as like the standard for where you want to be. Maybe you hope that one day you get to that level of money and that you could have somebody like, you thinking to yourself, I could have somebody like, Ayesha Curry, or a Jada to a Will. And then you hear them on these podcasts and you're like, damn, they got problems just like I got problems. And problems is
way worse. Hey, and what I said on our first episode, these cameras and these phones, these podcasts now allow people who are not grounded, they don't realize what they be saying or what they be doing.
Oh God.
You throw it in their face and they just roll with it now. I guarantee you, if that was any other kind of man who, I believe Steph, after, his mother and his father went through their little messy turmoil, I kind of believe Steph don't want to end up like that.
Yeah.
And so with individuals like that have seen something like, they tend to be more passive, in which Steph gives off. He gives off that, hey, yeah, I'm just gonna let it roll off.
Let's work through our issues.
But if she walks away, my bad. When she walks away, because I do believe this is what she's doing, I'll put $1,000 that she's gonna keep the Curry last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that bet. I wouldn't take that bet.
So it's ironic. She wants to find herself and see what could have been, but she knows she's not going to be able to do that with her last name because it doesn't draw attention. So she's going to want to keep that association with the man.
Yeah.
Just like R. Kelly's, you know what I'm saying? My boy, I don't care what y'all say, that's still my boy. R. Kelly's wife. She's done everything. Bro. She's done everything. She put his name through the mud. She did everything. But when it's time to go out and do stuff, Kelly is on all her flyers because that's who they know her by.
I don't even know who you talk about, so I can't speak on that. But hey, man, I do got another video that I want to show you.
Let's roll to it, baby. Let's roll.
All right.
I went on a first date, and when I opened the door, my man was at my front door, and I was like, "Oh, right." And then he hit me with the Rico. He pulled the flowers out, and I was like, "Wow, this is different, right?" So I'm not even paying attention. I brush past it, trying to walk down the steps and get to the door, right? Because I'm not paying attention. I'm just so not used to it, and it just hasn't, I just didn't have a lot of practice. He opened my car door. I get inside. He closed the door. I immediately went to my group chat. It's weird.
Did you say he opened your car door?
High five. No. Now let me explain, right? Let me explain. By the time we got to the restaurant, my follow-up text was, y'all, that's my bad. I just realized and all that stuff we be talking about, we don't really want it. And I felt like he technically did everything that we be saying we be wanting. In my mind, instinctively, my first thought was he corny. But he really did everything that we want. But
All right, bro. What's your thoughts?
I went on a first date. And
I said it before. They want that in the package. Now, if it was in the package of a guy with some gold teeth, some blingage, you know what I'm saying, a little rough around the edges, and he was doing all that, boy, that text message would hold a different. Girl, he opened my car door. Ooh, he had them flowers. Ooh, it would have been more like, but he came in a respectable manner. That's why she was able to walk past it, because it wasn't the visual that she wanted it in. They want that, but they want it in the visual that they want it in. And not every woman, it's sad that we have to preference a lot of things by saying that not every woman, because it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be the first thing women rebut you with is I'm not that kind. Not everyone. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? At no point in time can anything be 100% about anything, because there are always going to be outliers. But it's sad that we have to always say that. But women, they want the pleasures, the long walks, they want the sweet nothings on the phones. They want all that in this rough exterior of a man, because it makes them feel like, I don't know if they feel that rough exterior makes them feel more protected than he has a sweet side. But I know a lot of guys, we don't have that rough exterior, but I can protect you better than the gangster can, or the rough guy, or the bad boy. I'm quiet. Well, I ain't quiet. I'm kind of rambunctious. I'm kind of loud out there in them streets, but I don't carry myself like that. But I guarantee you, if you're with me, there's nothing's going to happen. Because one thing, first of all, I'm gonna be like, hey, baby, let's go. We're gonna use the walk away approach. And if the walk away approach don't work, then that's when we're gonna meet violence with violence. I've given you, I'm gonna remove myself, but then after the fact, if I can't, me removing myself and you still coming at me, well, sometimes you have to meet evil with evil. And that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But yeah, I seen this little clip, and it was comical. It was laughable because it goes back to the Russell Wilson comments that everybody bring. He's lame and he's all for doing the right thing because he's respectable and he's not out here procreating. You know what I'm saying? He's creating, but he's not procreating. He's building up he's taking a situation and make it look beautiful. But for him doing that, and he's not yapping about how many women he done been with, and he's not out here talking bad about other women, he's considered corny.
So this video kind of speaks to my evolution as a man, right? And when I say that, oftentimes you get into spaces with women that you're either attracted to or you're pursuing, and there is a perception of men like this, right?
Yeah.
The perception that if you do the things that we were taught that you were supposed to do as a man, right?
Yeah.
That you were supposed to show up to a date with flowers and open a car door and pull the chair out, make sure that she sits first, walk on the side of the road and make sure she's on the opposite, she's on the side of you away from the road, pay for the dinner, all of these things, right? And those things, depending on the woman, whether or not she has it in her mind that she's attracted to you or not, maybe from a physical standpoint, she sees those things as corny, right? And she'll see those things as corny, but then chase after the dude that is the complete opposite. And then you'll hear the most famous words that we still hear to this day: all men ain't shit. And it's like, excuse me, ma'am, that's not. And I listen, ladies, if y'all ever see me out in the street, please don't say that, because I'm gonna check you, because it's not true. It's not true. It's the men that you choose to go after. It's like, what you remember Cat Williams' comedy special where when he basically was like, no, it's the niggas that you fuck with that ain't shit. So ask yourself why you keep getting in these bad situations, because it's who you choose.
One, it's competitiveness. They want those other guys because they could say that they're better than those other guys. So they could be the better one in the relationship. It's all about, with the modern woman today, it's all about control. It can be very obvious control, or it could be the picture of control. If I can say that I'm better than you, you know what I'm saying, I can basically steer the narrative. A woman have a group of friends. Very rarely that you see a whole bunch of women that are uber beautiful all together. They have to have somebody that they deem is not attracted to them. When it's time to get married, when women to get married, they get dressed. You can't wear that dress. You're gonna look better than me. it's a competitive nature. Women don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're the woman who's not saying it, you're probably the good looking friend. No, I'm just playing. Let me stop. But,
You wow.
let me stop. But for real though, it's the competitive nature. They want that rough around the edge guy who ain't been to school, who ain't getting this, and that's the first thing that they're going to throw up in his face. I've done this. I've got 2 degrees. It's a what they back in the day by men. It's a thing swinging contest. It's a contest with them. I'm better than you, so I get this moral high ground. I know you out here in these streets doing bad. You selling a little yayo, you doing all this here, but I'm attracted to you. Not only am I attracted to you physically, I'm attracted to you competitively because I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it. But then I would probably disagree just slightly in the fact that I think that being that type of person presents a bit of softness. It presents a bit of, typically those type of men are going to be more emotionally intelligent. They're going to be more in touch with, their sensitive side, which there's nothing wrong with that. And the perception of that could be that he's soft or that he can't protect me. And these are things that could be not necessarily conscious, but subconscious. And so in thinking that they see it as a turnoff, especially with now I will preface it by saying this. Typically, you see this more in younger women.
Mm-hmm.
Older women are more prone to find that kind of stuff more attractive. But with older women, you could be out of the marketplace, right? Or the circle of men that you're looking for may not necessarily be within your age range. They may be more older guys who are looking for someone younger than them. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think the younger generation doesn't appreciate those things. And I think a lot of it has to do with what we were talking about earlier, social media.
It does, Juan. It does. So social media, but root up the root. And I'm gonna stick my toes in the ground on this one because the root of it is because when you're dealing with these modern younger women, they're more educated. They feel like they're more cultured. They feel that they've done so much more. And so, what other reason would attracting someone that you know that's not on your level socially with your education and your earning power, but you're attracted to somebody that you know that's not like that. So you're telling me you're not strong enough to go in a room where you say these men, you know what I'm saying, who professional men who this in touch with their feelings and in terms of why? Because they know those men are valued higher than they are. And so they can't use that I got this, I got that over them.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with it. So what you're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong. What you're saying is that if they were to get around men who are on a level that is equal to them or higher from a educational standpoint, a financial standpoint, basically they got their shit together.
Yes.
That there's a bit of an intimidation factor there because they are not in control. They can't control the narrative or the situation. They have to take a back seat.
They have to take that's and anytime you dealing with a woman who like you're saying, probably that woman who's on that part, she probably have degrees and she got everything. And so there's a conversation about anything that she can say, hey, I got this. They're always gonna list their accomplishments. A lot of these women use their accomplishments as the pole, as a totem pole. Hey, the big joker. What? You ain't spending 30 doing this here. I got my bachelor's. I got my master's. I got my doctor. They just slam you down with big joker after big joker. So when they're in a conversation with a man who has all that into this, they know they can't say that because his rebuttal, I have that plus more. Also, I have a business. I got this and I got that. So I don't really need your attitude anymore.
Okay, so just to kind of wrap this thing up, so how does that mentality and that attitude go into this particular situation where she's going on a date with a guy and he shows up with flowers, opens the door and all that, and she sees him as corny? Because that, I think that's the part that I'm not necessarily understanding. Like,
Okay.
I understand everything, how it ties into everything that she said after that
Yeah.
about, not being, that she realized that that's not what she want. But how does that tie into her identifying him as being corny?
Okay. It ties into identify him being corny is because from the onset, when he came to the door with everything, she told you, I just pushed past that. You know what I'm saying? I pushed back. Now this guy probably can be a very well together, put together brother. Probably, you know what I'm saying? Nice high designer suit on because he's probably looking good. He showed up to the date then. Her thought process, because she's probably thinking, I'm throwing this guy a bone to date me. I'm just going to see.
Okay, I see where you're going with it now.
I'm going to see if I like it. You know what I'm saying? But if it was Pookie and Ray Ray who come there and he did it, the visual, she wouldn't have pushed past him. Because
what you're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you think that her mindset from the beginning was that she was better than him. Okay.
From the jump. So she's coming in I'm going to see if I like him. Because I always make this statement about women. A woman's going to put forth her best when meeting a guy. You know what I'm saying? If it's her heart, she's going to lead with her heart. If it's her education and everything, she's going to lead with that. So you're going to, you know what I'm saying, when meeting a woman, if it's just her body and that's the only thing that she has to offer, she's going to bust out there with the tightest dress on so she can show off all her curves. That's what a woman does. And we put forth respectability. I'm going to respect you as a woman. I'm going to try to treat you, you know what I'm saying? You know, if we discuss it and you tell me, hey, like she probably did over the phone, hey, guy, I've never dated a guy that brought me flowers. I've never had to open the door. And he's a good man. He's going to be attentive to those and show up with the flowers. Show up, open the door. Make sure she's the first one to be seated when they go to dinner at the table. Then he sits down. But her vision from the jump, and I can guarantee you her vision from the jump, this is not something that I really want because it's not the guy that's on my attraction level. I'm not attracted to these guys. So when he opened, most people, when you open the door and you see the guy that you've been waiting for a first date or you really have an attraction to, when you open, the first thing you're going to do is, oh, hey. Then you're going to receive the flow. Oh, thank you.
Oh, so she was never attracted to him in the beginning.
Never attracted to him. She pushed right, but she said it. When I opened the door, I just pushed past it. I didn't even see the flowers.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
So that makes way more sense. That way.
And so she was doing him a favor by even entertaining this date.
Okay, I can get on board with that. Well, all right, man. I know you got places to be, you got things to do, and people to see. So we're gonna end the conversation right here. But before we go, I want to remind everybody that my book is out. It is in Amazon store right now. It's Align Love, the modern guide to finding and building fulfilling relationships. There's about 21 chapters in here talking about self-awareness, strategic dating in person and online, strategic positioning, and things like that. So once again, it's Align Love, the modern guide to finding and building fulfilling relationships. It is in the Amazon store. The link will be in the description. And Big G, before we head out, where can people find you?
Hey, Instagram, baby. Wise and Smart 22. Right now, y'all missing it. I'm doing a whole weekly isms on Wednesdays talking about, you know what I'm saying, religion and how things we have. Last week, I talked about the two types of Christians, the have not and the have Christians. This week, I talked about, you know what I'm saying, our emotional Christians and how they allow people to pull they strings with emotion to put us in a situation where we in today. Next week, we're going to be talking about And that's where you need to follow me at Wise and Smart M22 so you can get some of these Wednesday isms. And we're gonna roll with it. Next month, it's gonna all be about love. Why? Because that's my birthday month. So I'm gonna be every Wednesday, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about love, carrying it over from what me and Juan be talking about.
Hey, listen, next month is my birthday month too. Your boy will be a whole 44 years old.
Well, that's good, bro. That's good. I'm a few years ahead of you.
You ahead of me like in dog years. All right, man. All right. So yeah, make sure you guys check out Big G on Instagram at Wise and Smart 22. Make sure that if you do add him on your Instagram that you drop him a DM and let him know where you got his information at so he knows to add you.
Yes.
And with that being said, Big G, we're signing off until next week, man.
Sayonara, finito, and all the other good stuff, baby.
All right, y'all take care.
Bye-bye.